welcome to Nicole's Book Club. Today I'm really happy to have invited my good friend Darren to share his latest read.
Latest read, yeah.
Yeah. When did you read?
That's like, no, actually early on, like a year or 2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What book do you want to recommend today?
The book that I recommend is going to be called Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. So it's about a story about how the Nike founder started from scratch. So basically the book talked about his journey from the company, which was called Blue Ribbon when it first started.
Blue Ribbon, it's the name before Nike started.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's about his journey from having this company distributing shoes from Japan, and then all the way that distributor want to screw him over.
Oh.
So he had to spawn Nike from scratch.
Okay.
And his journey before IPO, how hard it is.
Oh. What makes you want to read this book then, in the first place?
So this book is very popular among the entrepreneurs. And then during that time is when COVID hit, right? Remember last
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago,
wow.
around March and April time, everyone like freaking out. Everyone's like, what should I do? And everything.
Yeah.
As entrepreneurs, that's like the hardest time because you're thinking about what should I do with my life? Should I fold the business? Should I keep going? There's a lot of uncertainty.
Did you just start your business 2 years back then when COVID just started?
Kind of 2.5 years ago.
Oh.
So it was when I started building the company, and I'm forced to pivot to everything change. And it was something that is very depressing, it's very dark.
Oh.
And then my friend said, hey, you know what, you should read this book. Because if this guy, Phil Knight, can go through what he has been through, you can do the same thing as well.
Oh.
And then this book is very unique because a lot of books that you read through like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk and all the great founders, right? It's always about how great they have done. But then one asks about what is the mistakes they have done, what are things that they could have done better, and what is the internal dialogue to do any decisions, and what's the consequences from those.
Oh, okay.
And Phil Knight is very transparent when it comes to like at least the story he tells about how he thinks about certain things. And he was like, for example, right, there are stories about he's in debt of his employees' parents for 11 years. And then he was struggling all the time. He's always like on the verge of bankrupt for 11 years.
Bankruptcy, like when he started the company, Blue Ribbon? Yeah, oh shit.
So he's always doing that. And at the same time is that after like a long time that he do a good job of distributing the shoes on behalf of the Japan company, they come here to want to get rid of him. So the story is really
like the Japanese company want to get rid of him afterwards.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he had no idea what to call the company, what to do about the company, and his employee, his lieutenants, and the people who posted him is the one who would say, hey, let's call it Nike. Even he disagreed for the longest time.
Does Nike have a meaning though?
The Nike is about the warrior, right? So I think it's the wall of God or something like that. I looked like a Greece. Please don't quote me on this.
Better check, guys, and comment if it's wrong, if Darren's wrong.
Yeah, if anything, the subtitle can be like wrong and have the same facts on Wikipedia right there. So
Fact check.
Okay. And then so back then there are no internet, and he's a very small company with limited resource to do what he's doing, and now become one of the biggest companies around the world.
What did you learn from this book? Like, can you share 2 lessons that you learned from this book, and also how you apply the lessons in your entrepreneurial life that you want to share with the audience?
So I think there are a few big things. I'll stick with 2 things that I feel is very important. So the book talked about a lot of temptation, and you have to stay strong with your focus, and then let the passion speak from within.
What kind of temptations?
Yeah, the temptation was a lot, and even for me is that sometimes, like example, right now it's January 2022. Everyone talk about metaverse, NFT, crypto,
NFT,
all that kind of stuff, which is they have value. I'm not saying they don't have value, but it's not for everyone. So even for myself, sometimes like during the whole period, it's like, should we? Nah. Okay. What if we just raise that money to do what we want to do? But it's really about the passion, about the core principle, about the ethic and moral that what you really want to build. For us sometimes, like even for me right now, sometimes like, hey, it's pretty rough, I'm burning out all the time.
Really? I thought it's easy for you guys to get funding nowadays, like, because you told me you started your company 2.5 years ago. And in Hong Kong, you know, there are a lot of startup or competitions that you can apply for funding in the government, right? I thought it would be easier to do startup nowadays compared to back then.
If I want to go for talking about the startup scene in Hong Kong, I can go a couple hours.
Oh, no. That's what you're not aiming for.
Hong Kong have a lot of capital. However, is that they don't allocate to a startup. So the risk adjustment tolerance is a lot different. One of the best places for earlier stage startup would be US and China.
Okay.
But then Hong Kong is known that like you don't really able to raise startup fund unless you are somehow already
sizable. After you read this book, like out of a score of 10, how would you, like what score would you give this book?
I think it depends on who you are or what you want to do. I think if you want to learn about hardship, overcoming hardship, it would be a 9.9 easily.
Okay.
Because like there are a lot of books out there that don't really talk about the failures, the hardship. Like there are books about WeWork, right? There are about WeWork, Theranos, or there's one book called Space Monkeys. It's about the startup scene in Silicon Valley too. We talk about these kind of like hardship behind that. What is something that people always talk about but they don't want to talk about behind the scene. So these books I think is very useful because especially right now when we're going to recession soon, maybe. Yes, now or already now.
Wait, in Hong Kong or globally going recession? Yeah.
But you have to understand that like what are some mistakes people make and how to overcome it.
Can you share a story?
Yeah.
How you improved after reading this book on your business?
A lot of time when you start startups, a lot of people will tell you 1,000 different ideas of what you should do. And the problem a lot of time is that there's not a clear guideline of what you should do in the first place. Everything is different, right?
Yeah.
And then when you're in the corporate world, it's easy to say, okay, next year I will do this. Hopefully, maybe we should API, I'll get promoted to associate, or maybe I'll do 5 years from now, I'll be an MD for this company. There's a very clear.
Fast 5 years as an MD.
Well, it depends on where you are in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
But at the same time, it's for startup, there's no such thing. Things might happen like COVID or let's say recession, tides changing, politics change, and you gotta adopt. So, and you get burnout, and even for Phil Knight, he burned out all the time, but he found equilibrium is that actually he was start doing exercise or different thing. Even though on paper it's like, okay, less hours of work, that means you're doing worse. But actually his mental health is a lot better, his health getting better, so he feels better and actually is a good equilibrium, which a lot of founders say the same thing, is that you cannot overwork yourself.
You told me you just got burnout, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's very easy to caught up, especially in COVID, right?
Yeah.
And then I think that it's a good lesson to remind yourself. And then most important thing is that life is a journey. It doesn't matter what you do, and you believe what you believe. No matter what, keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a final tip that you want to share to the audience, like for people who are working towards a startup?
And most important thing is that if you like what you're doing and you're willing to learn and be honest about what your ability, just be real. And then you will find that not only that you'll be a lot more zen, a lot more
like how zen you are right now.
Yeah, I think so. I'm okay. And the most important thing is that it's something that you're proud of. My own startup called Denzity. It's a media and search platform for home buyers looking for overseas properties. And what we do is that we crowdsource great content from different people. Then we help them to find the real estate investment they might want to. My other role is that I'm the head of the research and content for a great non-profit association, the Hong Kong Prop Tech Association.
Hong Kong Prop Tech Association.
Yeah, so I help them to create content, research, and then hopefully that our work let stakeholders understand more, participate in property tech. And most important thing is that the sector become more digitized and more impact people's life.
Oh, that's good. So people who are interested in buying properties in UK, right? UK,
Canada, or different
Canada, or like planning to migrate or anything, just look for Darren and he will probably give you a discount.
Discount. It's
discount.
free.
It's free? Okay. Sorry. Free server. Just message him. Thank you guys. See you guys next time. Bye.